Been a while since I've done a NASCAR video, hasn't it? Call it a throwback. I don't know why, I just had the itch to make one again. Maybe I'll even go to another race in the future. When I do, I'll use SeatGeek, the sponsor of this video, to get me to the Speedway. It's my preferred ticket reseller for about a decade now. They've guided me through the resale market for every sporting event you can think of. It's a simple formula for success. They sort all tickets from red to green on a 1 to 10 scale. You can get a view from where you'll be sitting. And all tickets are verified for authenticity. Don't forget to use the code TREE to save $20 off your first purchase. NASCAR itself could use SeatGeek to help them out. They kinda need it. This video will explain why.
Logano looks back, he has a car link now. Joey Logano through 3 and 4 for the final time. There's the contact. He does get to him. The 11 on the inside. He gets into the wall. Dillon's gonna win it at the line.
Never knew that you could pull the shit I did on NASCAR Thunder 2003 to win races these days. Austin Dillon with every trick in the book to win at Richmond. You'd think he'd have been black flagged for it, but what do I know? It's an absolutely beloved moment in the history of racing. One that the sports world agreed was an honorable and in no way bullshit finish. The reality is more blatant. What you're seeing isn't a one-off occurrence or the simple Rubbins racing mantra. This is what NASCAR wants. Manufactured drama and controversy for the sake of generating buzz. Culmination of decades of chasing the artificial high. That close finish? That was the result of a caution before the end of a race. All races must finish under green or else it goes to overtime. Austin Dillon was well on his way to a solid win before this moment. And Dillon's victory? That automatically gets him a spot in the NASCAR playoffs, which are winning in if your team is a charter. Austin was 32nd in points before the race and hadn't won in 2 years. It'd be more of a harping point, but NASCAR stripped him of playoff eligibility for the Pro Gamer move. Shockingly, the right call for an organization that's made a ton of bad ones, but it's slapping a bandage on an open wound. The same overtime caution situation occurred the next week at Michigan. Yes, this is apparently a caution these days. Tyler Reddick won the race after dominating, thank the Lord, but it's a symptom of a greater disease. Auto racing's lost its integrity. Things feel WWE-esque in terms of artificial tension. There's no authenticity. Some of this stuff is asinine. Just imagine multiple forced cautions in Formula 1 to keep things tighter. Oh, wait, that happened. Well, think of someone like Lance Stroll winning instead of Verstappen. To the casual, when do you notice NASCAR in the news? Usually when there's controversy. A bad finish, Bubba's Garage Pool, the wall ride at Martinsville, and the occasional Shane Van Gisbergen. It's a problem with something that suffered a recent decline and is trying to get out of it but keeps tripping over itself. NASCAR is in multiple crisis points. The end product of higher-ups that have sportsballed the shit out of the product, and everyone from fans to drivers to teams are disillusioned with the France family. Things attempted to try and bring back the spark that once was there have had mixed results. The Chicago street race, tremendous success. More of that, please. With a little less rain, hopefully. The Bristol dirt race didn't work, but I'll give them credit for trying something new. The Clash in LA? Decent idea, but the novelty wore off pretty quickly. But the 550 horsepower package? Hard fucking no. Just no. The damn segmented races might have had a more popular response than that. I'll give them credit for trying, but they danica it in turn 3. You'd think it'd have ended with Brian's foray into drunk driving, but the rock goes further apparently. If worst comes to worst, they can allegedly name drop Trump or something. Sadly for the rest of us, the France family is still running things however the hell they are. They haven't done anything entirely self-destructive recently, but the sins of past changes remain. A breaking point has been reached. One where older fans are disillusioned and there's a difficult time bringing in fresh blood. Suppose I'm 8 years old again and seeing NASCAR races for the first time. I'm the newbie they should be targeting, but I see all these rules and probably get so confused I don't watch again. It's self-imposed gatekeeping. The art of racing has been lost. And I honestly don't know if they can get it back. Come Sundays in a few weeks, the NFL's gonna shit all over NASCAR in the ratings. NASCAR being a powerhouse is over, but it can definitely survive. If it sticks to its roots and focuses on quality racing, the product itself should be fine. But that alone may not be enough. Even for what you can say are personal gripes with how this sport has fallen to manufactured outcomes and in-race drama over the past 20 years, there's another major fracture that's starting to break through the surface. An issue that could potentially shake the fabric of stock car racing as a whole. A schism between teams and the organization itself. To understand this, every full-time team in NASCAR has a charter. It's roughly the sport's equivalent of owning a franchise. Securing the rights to one guarantees you entry to most races, gets you a greater share of revenues, prizes, and an annual payment to benefit the sport as a whole. On the surface, it makes sense. Until you realize how much it costs to run a team. Running in the NASCAR series is an 8-figure operation minimum. It's honestly a lot closer to $20 million a season per team. And this is before inflation and payments to drivers and crew. With how intricate cars have become, teams are bleeding money every season. A good few smaller and mid-tier teams are shutting the doors and the big fish are openly griping about it. And this isn't getting into the Xfinity or Craftsman series. It's slim pickings down there. Sponsor quality and payouts have been a far cry from what they were in the heyday. That's the first thing I noticed when I went to Daytona 3 years ago. The days of UPS, Target, M&M's, Lowe's, and Home Depot donning cars? They're history. Geico might be pulling sponsorship after this season. Coca-Cola could drop out after 2025. Even Hooters isn't paying sponsor fees these days. With that, the number of eyeballs leaving the screen and increasing costs, we get the impasse occurring today. The charter system as it stands expires after this season. From how negotiations have been going over the past 6 months, there's been no budging from either side. It's a staring contest to see who blinks first. NASCAR's holding most of the chips here, to be fair. They stopped reporting their operating income and attendance figures a while ago, so all we can do is speculate. They celebrate sellout crowds when attendance capacity has been roughly halved at some tracks. Sharp TV ratings decline leveled off for once. That's news, I guess. There's a new TV deal in place for NASCAR as well. They'll champion it as an increase, but considering inflation and lower sponsor payouts, it's merely a break-even. At best. NASCAR Cup races on FS1 and USA Network? That's not a good sign. Worst case scenario is a series split rivaling IndyCar and kart. We all know that worked out so well for American open wheel racing. It's totally recovered since realizing the error of their ways. Besides, if that happens with NASCAR, where do the other teams drive? The league itself owns most of the tracks. I doubt SMI is going to defect for a paltry sum. I see more of a boycott than open rebellion. Do they not show up for the clash at Bowman Gray? They surely won't skip out on the Daytona 500, would they? It's the same sad reality that hits me every time I watch NASCAR these days. It's not the same as it was. I know that change can be good, but nearly every move this organization has made has been for the worse. And nobody can deny this. Is anyone happy with the product on display? Drivers are being held back by gimmicks of every size, the teams are hemorrhaging cash, and the fans are getting pissed off. NASCAR's never been like other leagues, yet they're acting like they're the NFL. It won't solve everything, but you know what'll help? In the plainest language possible. Abandon the gimmicks! The playoff system as it stands, the segmented races, the overtime cautions, all of it. Hell, even put the numbers back to the center of the side panel. Going back to pure racing will solve a lot of fan woes. You'll regain the authenticity of a season, rewarding consistency instead of sheer luck. NASCAR is never going to get back to what it was 20 years ago, but it can return to the grassroots stability that it enjoyed for decades. Think of the greatest races of all time. Why are they so beloved? Because they were authentic climaxes to competitive seasons. So what path do you want to choose? Do you try the proven route to appeal to fans old and new? Or keep going for the artificial Game 7 high that people easily see through? We won't know what they do until it happens. The France family answers to no one. And if they don't want to give a shit, then that's their prerogative. Even if it means making wrong move after wrong move with the occasional gem unearthed. All we can do is sit and watch as they lapage the sport into oncoming traffic. Sadly, they hit the one guy who dominated every race. He lost the title on the final lap. As Kevin said, he might need a better spotter.
With a playoff spot on the line, with your season on the line, was that a fair move?
I don't know, man. It's been 2 years, and this is the first car I've had with a shot to win. You know, I felt like with 2 to go, we were the fastest car. Obviously, had to have a straightaway, and Ricky wrecked the guy. I hate to do that, but sometimes you just got to have it, and I got to thank the good Lord above.